She is in. Well, I'd like to call the August meeting of the Town Board of Hillsdale to order. Please stand if you're able for the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you. Okay, first item on our agenda, George, welcome.
Hello.
Have 10 minutes of public comment, and then you'll probably be up. You're frozen, but now you're seated. Okay. Is there someone who? Oh, sorry. Would anyone like to make a public comment, please?
Yes. Yes.
Okay.
Further commentary on Texas Hill Road. This is a shock. Law of unintended consequences. So we've now had an enormous amount of aggregate put down, been chip sealed. What we feared might happen started to happen, particularly with the version that we had over the past few weeks on Route 23. We witnessed several close calls because we had don't know the road, driving at excessive speeds. My son was actually driven off the road. So the reason I'm raising this is that we'd like to work with the town board to coordinate on some safety measures. We'll be circulating a petition on to the residents on Texas Hill Road, in order to look to put some road signage up. Okay. We know that that's a state issue. Ultimately, our understanding is that if submit to the board a petition, you can consider it pass a resolution that goes to the county. County reviews it, it goes to state DOT. We also understand there may be some flexibility at the town level, particularly because we have children who do live on the road, regarding perhaps, putting slow signs or applying curb signs. But I think ultimately we'd like to either get some speed control through reduced speed limit or even speed bumps. But, the fear is that there are several blind curves in several areas where it's a single lane. And now that people are driving at faster speeds and we're seeing a little bit more traffic, it's a significant concern. Ultimately, we'd like to ask that this go onto the agenda for next meeting. And our goal is to have a petition for you in September for review.
Okay. Funny that you should mention that. I know, Peter, you had your hand up, but John is here for the same issue on a different road. So do you mind if John goes before you, Peter?
Sure.
You're up, John.
Thank you. I'm glad I could make it tonight, and I'm glad I got some signatures for a petition in reference to County Route 21. I had, at the end of March, my fence ripped out, the mailbox ripped out, then a car turned over with 4 ladies inside on my property next to my vegetable garden. But other people who have gotten signatures have their own problems with it, which is someone ran into someone's garage while driving. The signs do not deal with the right speed for 21. And the other day, I had a big tractor trailer on my bumper. And it isn't happening just once or twice. Other people are complaining about it. And I'd like to be able to have it at the next meeting. We're gonna have more people sign up in reference to the petition.
Correct.
But I've also seen signs being changed. They had a 35 mile at the bridge down there. The other direction heading east, that 35-mile sign is gone, and I can't figure out what's happening with some of that.
Okay, I don't know anything about that. That is a county road, so that's just so you know, there is a procedure for speed request that we got from DOT last year, and I called them, and it's still valid. There's a form, there's a TE 9A form, which is very easy. The board would have to pass a resolution, and then they ask for copies of supporting documents, which means basically petitions. You can see John's petition. I just made a very simple one. You might want to do something more elaborate. John has been going up and down his road asking people for petitions. And so once we get the TE 9A and your supporting documents, we can put a resolution on for the September meeting. And if Texas Hill does the same with petitions, we can get this on the September meeting also.
So the starts on September, right, the next meeting?
Yeah.
How long would it be for you from the town?
Well, it's the state. But you know what? Last year we did a mini. It was like 0.2 of a mile going into Ghent on, was it 71? Harlanville Road. We heard, I want to say within 3 months. We passed it in January, and I think we heard by March, April. It's all done through the county and then the state. It's a couple months, but it's not, we can certainly follow up.
All right, thank you very much.
Yes. Peter, sorry.
Thank you for going, Texas Hill. So I just wanted to build on what Miles was saying, and maybe just highlight a few other things that I would hope the board can take into consideration. Because there are safety issues. The drivability of the road radically improved, and with that, see greater speed. There's already speed issues to begin with. In fact, it's not just people from home are driving the road, sometimes it's neighbors. So I'm concerned about not just road signs, because I'm not sure really people pay that much attention to them on back roads like that. But ours has many blind curves, blind hills. It's a dangerous road, and people driving 55 miles an hour on it are serving that problem. So I just want to make sure that people really understand that this is something that the board needs to take seriously. Secondly, there were some board members who were encouraging people to take Texas Hill Road as a cut through during 23. I had emailed with one of the board members who's not here tonight. And they said, well, it's a public road. It's like, not all public roads are used for the same purposes. This is not R23, this is not I-87. This is a back road that is not meant for heavy traffic. Well, also degrade the quality of the work that the superintendent thinks just did. Because chip seal is not meant for heavy use.
Great. I have, real quick, just, I have Amy and Miles' email in my system. For some reason, I don't have the others, but I'm going to email you these speed procedures.
Yeah, I'll follow up.
And I might already have them, but just so you have them. Send. Amy, sorry.
So Amy Dickinson, also Texas Hill Road, so building on this point, plus another point. I just want to sort of point out the irony that, we heard from the highway superintendent that the reason to chip seal the road was for safety reasons. But of course, we actually have a safety reason, so I'm not quite sure how the one reason of. You know, first responders being able to arrive at a home should trump the daily use. Of both pedestrians, cyclists, as well as children, and we have many children under the age of 18 on our road. So I just wanted to point that out because as we know, the town does not have the authority. To make this decision and to put a speed limit on our roads, so the enemy there is not us, but on us, on the road. So I appreciate that we're gonna work together to try to find what's the best way to keep the road as safe as possible for everybody who enjoys it. The second point I wanted to raise was just the concern that the town board seems to, over this whole process, was making decisions not based upon the full financial information and the facts. And I don't think that's a good precedent for this town to set. For months, we asked for actual costs for the cost of maintaining a dirt road. We never received it. We asked for actual costs for the maintaining of a chip seal road. We never received it. And really only one council person, council member Karana, asked for the information. She asked for clarifying questions. And I think the town board just rebuffed her rather than just answering the questions and giving her the information so full decisions could be made. It is her fiduciary duty, as it is all of yours, to have accurate information in order to be making these kinds of decisions. And just another example of that is, you know, what's in the minutes right now that you're going to be about to approve, to basically move the Taconic Creek Old Road Society's gift was denied. Quote unquote, it's saying that, you know, you guys were concerned, or the gift committee was concerned about the number of residents driving on the road, landscapers, delivery trucks, as well as other services. But no study was conducted. They didn't even have the courtesy to ask us in terms of what you see. So I think it's a little frustrating that you're just basically making decisions based upon objection rather than on actual information. So just moving forward, I just think it would be really helpful for the town to just stop and go, okay, do we have the information we need to make this decision? If not, let's do our best to gather the information that we need.
Thank you. We have another minute, if anyone would like to take that minute. Jeff.
I feel the town board has rammed this decision down the taxpayers, the residents of the road throats. This was not the decision that was made by the people who live there, people who pay the taxes. This was made beforehand by the board, before we even had a chance to say no. What's gone on since then is disgraceful. You made the people who live on the town road, who've been paying their taxes for 30 years, seem like we're now ripping off the other people because we wanted to keep our dirt road and not make it paved. So we're ripping them off because we're trying to do that. Where in reality, dirt is a lot cheaper to put down on the road than it is. It's a lot of machinery, a lot of guys, and a lot of effort to chip seal, which we've now been forced to pay. Where we had a beautiful dirt road, it was much safer than what we have now.
Okay, thank you. That ends our public comment section. Thank you very much. I did email out the speed procedures to the board and to Amy and Miles. So we'll probably have 2 resolutions next town board meeting to be continued. Okay, next is up. Yeah, sure.
On that subject, I'm reading here that in New York State, the statutory speed limit is 55 miles per hour unless otherwise posted. You're aware of that.
That's what
So-
Most
So-
definitely, dirt roads, you
Yeah,
can do 55 miles an hour, unless it,
so
and the state won't regulate dirt roads.
It's
Okay.
downhill path, the regulation.
is that true that the state won't, I'm looking to you because I don't
No,
know
they won't.
history.
They don't
Okay,
regulate dirt roads.
okay, so,
Richard, do you have a statutory reference for that? Because that's not what my reading was.
All right, guys, let's we'll get back to you on that. But yeah.
to the potential resolution, I
Uh-huh.
think that. I mean, if we don't want these, if we want these resolutions to really have teeth. It would make sense that we put together a budget for how we're going to properly post the speed limits on these roads. Because in fact, like. There's no way for residents to contact police departments to actually enforce the speeds unless. We hold up our responsibility as a town to properly post that.
Sure, I mean, Richard has a budget for signage,
Properly posted once the speed limit is.
the signs are not,
Oh, okay.
yeah, I mean, they're.
Yeah,
I think we spent for the 5 tonnage, we spent a couple $100 for those signs, so we get them at the Columbia Sign Company. And they go up, we had that up within a week of approval, so they go up pretty fast.
is there a certain number of signs or?
There's a guideline that they go by from the county, but basically it's so many people after an intersection.
After every road, you have to have a speed sign after every intersection.
So there's-
Oh, okay,
There's guidelines that I follow with the county, work with the
Okay,
county on that.
but generally it's affordable in our
Yeah.
current budget, okay.
Yeah.
Great.
Yeah, it's not a budget buster, and it's money well
Great.
spent.
And the other thing I want to say about that generally, for the public is, I mean, if you see someone doing something illegal. Call the police department, call the police, because they are the only, individuals who can really enforce speed limits, right? And, we've had issues on, Weston Road for years and years. The police, the Columbia County Sheriff's Office is willing to sit in your driveway, during rush hour to, you know,
Yeah, Sergeant Kilmer
yeah, and
is
if,
great.
This
and
is
if you,
not, as Mike knows, this is not, sorry to interrupt you.
Yeah.
This is not a unique problem to Texas Hill Road.
right,
We have this on every road. In fact, the town board just invested
$13,000.
thousands of dollars in speed, signs that we move around to try to
Right.
do this.
They came in very helpful with the
And-
detour.
Yeah,
They
and
were
the
really
problem
nicely
with
placed.
these are- I mean, you guys were seeing Texas Hill, we saw Old Town Road when this other was closed. Where our road, that road was literally tore apart by tractor trailers and stuff, and there was no retaliation that we could do. Or anything to get the money back because it's not posted and the speed limit is 55. But the problem was, we were even suffering wide loads on the road. You know, at that detour, so it's, people are not considerate when they go on a detour. It's, they're not considerate on their own roads, let alone a detour.
Yeah,
Two tractor trailers.
hopefully they're down to 23 for.
yeah, I just think we need to be realistic in our approach, because it really takes a long time and it takes some community effort as well.
And those
as
speed signs,
whatever
which you guys, you approved, Jeff approved, we move them around and it does. Maybe it's only in the area that we put the signs, but it makes people think and so.
Right,
Yeah.
yeah,
And now that detours are over, if you want to request a sign on your particular road, contact highway at hillsdaleny.com.
Or check supervisor.
Yeah, I don't make that. That's above my pay grade, which is very low. Okay, I'm gonna go to the approval of minutes because I got George here. Motion to approve the July 15 minutes. Can I get a motion, please? Erwin, can I get a second, please? Any discussion?
yeah, there was something I noticed,
Uh-huh.
just, there's the abstaining and nays are not numbered, so it doesn't actually say who. It says who's abstaining, but it doesn't count them as an abstention. Is that what?
Yeah, I have to check
So
with
I don't
Kim.
think it matters, I just point
Okay.
that out because it's.
Okay, I'll check. Rabina's not here, but I'll check with her. But
Okay.
there was something legality about an abstention, but I can't speak to that. So let's ask her next.
Okay.
All in favor?
Uh,
Unanimous. Thank you very much. Got that? Okay. Motion to approve the July 21st minutes. Erwin, can I get a second, please? Tiger, any comments?
Yeah,
Same
so
time.
at the end of the second page, it says that Council member Brandon Nordenson stated that she would have this grant application completed by the end of business on Tuesday, July 22nd, but that's the day after this.
The 29th.
Yeah, it was.
Okay,
I don't even remember, but it was much.
Yeah,
later.
it was the 29th.
Yeah.
So, motion to amend the minutes, to reflect, the correct date of July 29th. First, the second, all in favor of amending the minutes to the 29th. Okay, all in favor of approving the amended minutes? Aye. Aye, okay, thank you. I get this down. All right, county report. I don't know if you've been reading the papers. I was one of 6 supervisors to call for the resignation of the chair of the Columbia County Board of Supervisors. There was 4,000 signatures submitted. Objections were raised, which is totally legitimate. What is not legitimate is for an objector to come into a public office having not seen these objections and being asked to sign these objections at 401 State Street. That was a use of public property for partisan purposes. I thought it was very clear that this rose to the level of being asked to resign as chair of Columbia County Board of Supervisors. The other supervisors, majority did not feel that way, or they did not vote to bring a resolution, which was a resolution for censure, not even resignation, to the floor. So that's where it stands. Unfortunately, there was a technicality on the actual referendum itself that it will not be on the ballot in November. But what happened with the actual objectors, that was my position. So I just want to be very clear with that. Okay.
The
Yeah.
idea that you would go ahead and do the process over again. I
Yes.
think that's what everyone is wondering.
Here's the thing is, there's a law from 1952 that somebody found and said, hey, this could work for us. It had never been tested, no precedent, poorly written. What we'll do in the interim is lobby Michelle and Dee Dee and others to rewrite this law so it's very clear and go at it again. And so I have every confidence that we will prevail. So that was a little political, sorry. July financials, there was one overrun. I emailed the board about a miscoding. We went over the financials pretty thoroughly at the half year mark last month. And we're entering budget season, so get your calculators out and your rulers. We'll be doing this soon. There are no budget amendments for the month.
Is there a
Sure.
budget meeting schedule?
Yeah, this I emailed and then I put it down at the bottom of the agenda. There were several budget meetings. I think I emailed that out 2 weeks ago. But we can talk about that schedule. Take a look, let me know. We can get that schedule. If you have a problem, just email me and we can try to work it out. But okay, I do want to get to the sewer, but do you have anything from the clerk?
September 18th, the shredding bids will open up for 2 weeks. I'll post it in the newsletter and I'll post it online. It's 18th, I think, to the following week, which I don't know that much about that.
Okay,
That's pretty much it for now.
look for the newsletter. Thanks for everything during Ravina's absence and throughout the year. You're very good with the public who can get disgruntled about sub licenses, and we had a marriage that was performed in this town hall that we had no record of.
Correct.
So that's always fun, not me,
No, good for us.
way before us. So just,
Yeah.
we've come a long way, kids. Sewer report, okay, our absorption bed issue, George, you're gonna be up in a minute. I wanna go through these numbers. This is basically what we've been doing the last couple months. I wanna keep a very, very tight and transparent eye on this, as we did have problems with undisclosed sewer debt before. Basically, we got $500,000 plus 50K of grants, which are reimbursable, which means we spend the money, New York State takes their time and then reimburses us. So there will be a period where it's gonna look like we're in a lot of debt. And that's just the way it is. We have to do this project. So our current assets, if you look at the book today, 110K, it looks like we have, which sounds great. However, I had to make a transfer. There was a resolution authorizing me to do so of 78K. We still have some previous debt and interest to pay off. And then what we do here is I'm keeping track of what has been reimbursed and what has not been reimbursed. So I've added back in the money that will be reimbursed, which brings us to the reimbursement minus the debt. We're at 80K right now, which is the bottom number. So we're taking the existing debt and saying we're owed 62,000 from New York State. Oh, and there's one other thing, 22 Anthony, which will be reimbursed. We had a situation where a contractor just removed the sewer panel, which is causing problems. So they're going to be charged and on their tax bill. So we're gonna, currently we had to pump, it was a shared tank, so we had to pump that manually. We're going to charge them for that, and it's gonna be another 5K for a new panel. That's gonna be on them. They should not have removed that. That was our property. It was properly marked. So going to add that in there also. So net, we're at 80K. I want to point out that we were denied, New York State did deny some charges that we had put in. Mostly they were for Baldwin pumping the tanks. Our position was, look, we're putting in these new fabrics. If we don't pump these tanks out, get a nice clean tank, what's the use of putting clean fabrics in? New York State said, no, that's still maintenance. That's pumping. We're not going to reimburse you. But look, we're going to go over $500,000 on this project. So we're going to have to pay for some items. So it's not the end of the world. As I said, we have 80K. It's got, as these numbers evolve, we're going to end up with a small amount of debt at the end of the day, which I'm confident the sewer district can pay off within a year or two. So considering the size of this project, that's not a bad story. And I'm going to bring George in here. And please, I'll walk through these numbers, anytime you can give me a call. But we're expecting a reimbursement check for $14,000 this week. So we'll spend $18,000 on surveying and for this new project. So we did get a DEC report of satisfactory, which was very good considering where we were. George, pipe in here. You can I've linked to the report itself. James Malcolm from the DEC, very cooperative, very hands-on.
Oh yeah.
Which is a nice change for Hillsdale. I welcome and appreciate his input, and I think it's the best way to move forward. I know relationships were not always the best with the DEC, but I really, and George really worked hard in getting that relationship back, because it's all to the good. They're going to have the final say anyway, and they are demanding, requiring, I guess is the right word, that we do this before the winter, and we're going to be able to do it. One other note is we did go for a DEC grant for engineering for a whole new system, in the future. We were denied that. We can reapply next year, but that's long-term planning, not on the front burner right now. What's on the front burner is the absorption beds. So George,
Correct.
Plans, and if you want to talk the board through your plans, I would appreciate it.
Sure. Do you guys have the plans in front of you?
They're one click away. Here. Yeah. Erwin, you can look off them on. I've seen it. Yeah. So, you've got a square here and some fields.
So, yeah, basically these are new absorption fields that will be constructed adjacent to the existing failing systems. They'll be a new pump chamber as well built inside the fence enclosure that will allow us to properly dose these systems. They'll also be completely separate cells as they're intended to be per code, and we will achieve that by installing clay barriers between each of the systems, which currently does not exist in the existing systems. Going to build them up a little higher than the other systems to give us some more separation from groundwater. Bottom line is these should work a lot better and last longer
George, can you
than the
speak
ones
up,
that were
honey?
there.
George,
I'm
yeah,
sorry.
Can you speak up
Yeah.
a little bit?
use your diaphragm.
Yeah. So, yeah, can you hear me now?
Yeah, it's great.
So what I was saying is these are going to be similar to what's there, but they're going to be built up a little higher away from the groundwater. They'll be separated by clay barriers, so each of these cells are indeed separate from one another. And there'll be a new pump station to dose these to make sure that they're properly dosed with the correct volume. That will increase their efficiency and their longevity. Again, it's not a total permanent solution, unfortunately, but it's the best we can do with the property that we have and the system that's in place.
So can you speak to the wetlands, federal, state, and your interaction with the DEC? You had 2 biologists down there.
Yeah, I had 2 DEC biologists come out to confirm the presence of the state wetland. And as we suspected, the state wetland does wrap around this parcel, which you can see on the maps. I showed the wetlands as a green line. So it's kind of almost follows the woods line adjacent to the field. What's important about that is that the DEC has a 100-foot adjacent area. So it was really important to try to figure out where that wetland was. Unfortunately, was not correctly done originally, but the DEC did agree that the town of Hillsdale did nothing wrong, and that this is not their fault. So they are allowing us to keep certain items inside that 100-foot adjacent area. So that was nice of the DEC.
Okay. We have also been contacted Mr. Edelman, who owns the surrounding area, and this was a public domain issue back in the day. He has been, I would say, very cooperative. Again, not always the case, and that's a nice development that he is on board for what needs to be done here. I do want to mention, because I'm thinking of it now, he has grandkids that live near the property, and all the trucks and all the workers just need to know to go very slow, and we'll make sure that happens. Maybe some more signage. School starts by the time we'll probably be starting this, so they'll probably be gone at 7:30. But I just wanted to put that public as often as I can, because he's very concerned about his grandkids, as any grandfather would be.
Oh, absolutely.
Yes. I know you talked to the CAC before about this issue. Again, this is not of our making. This happened in 2008, I believe this was built. But again, as you say, this will make us compliant with the DEC and avoid fines and even a possible shutdown for the foreseeable future. There's certainly longer term solutions and plans that will have to be made, but for the foreseeable future, this will get us where we need to be.
Correct.
Okay. Now you had an estimate of $477,000. That was with the kind help of the highway department, which will save us a significant amount of money. Richard is looking at September. Can I say early September, early mid-September, like after Labor Day? They were doing doing a good bit of the hauling from Colarusso and wherever. So if you want to start getting those orders invoices, or if I do that, I don't know where the work cutoff here is, but just let me know what I need to do so we can start getting
Sure.
supplies there for this.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah,
We can
and then
coordinate that with you.
okay, so once we're getting clay, we're getting stone, we're getting soil, we're getting basic materials. We can certainly talk to, I don't know if there's room there to store that. I don't know if Mr. Edelman would be up for maybe overseeing our boundaries a little bit, but we can talk to
Mm-hmm.
him. But
Yep.
once the materials are there, then again, we declared an emergency situation, so this will not be going out to bid because of the tight time frame. Um, you will be recommending a contractor to actually fulfill this vision of these three
Right.
separate things. Okay.
We'll get prices from several contractors and
Okay.
then make a
Right. As
recommendation on it.
opposed to formally going out to bid with all the time framing and all that.
Right.
Might be a special board meeting to approve that, so just be aware that might happen quick. Again, we got to finish this by first snowfall or even sooner.
Sooner. Yeah.
Sooner. It's a requirement of the DEC, so we're not messing around here. So we're looking at probably mid to late September for the actual construction.
At this point, yeah.
Yeah, which will work, right?
Yeah. It's gonna have to.
Oh, so
Yeah.
this is going out to bid?
No, we declared an emergency resolution.
Okay.
Yeah, so he'll get several bids, but we're not going to advertise and have a 3-week period and do all that. Ran if I can, but yeah, it's an emergency timeframe situation. There's just
Okay.
we gotta get this done. George, anything else you want to say? Like, it's here.
No. Exactly.
It's just Richard, I want to thank you for this help. Apparently, New York State grants will not reimburse in-house labor. Now, I would argue that the Hillsdale Highway Department is not in-house labor for the Hillsdale Sewer District. We'll submit it and see what they say, but again, we're going to be spending more than our grants, so it's not the end of the world if they deny us. We're going to have more than enough money to spend on this grant. So yeah. George, will be talking.
Okay.
And any news on the light poles real quick? That's later in the agenda, but you're still waiting for a piece of paper.
They're waiting for their registration. Yeah.
Okay, great. I'll fill the board in that a little later on. So we need a motion to approve the engineering plans for the absorption bed rehabilitation project. Can I get a motion, please?
Sure.
Erwin, can I get a second?
Second.
Any further discussion on these plans? All in favor of approving to proceed? Okay, great. Thank you. Again, I'll keep you all informed. Look out for a special board meeting if we need to keep this on track. George, thank you for your time.
You're welcome.
And I got your email today about the grants, and so thank you. Thank you.
Yep. Let me know if you need anything else.
Oh, you'll be the first to know.
I'm sure.
Thanks.
All right.
Good
meeting.
Sure.
Question about this, your fun sheet?
Yeah.
I
Oh,
don't think it.
okay, George, thank you.
All right.
And
Bye.
so you mentioned the 22 Anthony
Yes.
project, but that's a private property under renovation of some sort, right?
Yes, but why it's included in here is because we will be getting reimbursed for it, much like the grant. There'll be, by the time this 22 Anthony is done, there'll be probably $6,000 that the owner will be paying for, that we're gonna pay out of pocket because it needs to be fixed ASAP, but it's going on their it's going on their bill.
Really? You
Yeah.
don't make it, I mean. We just. Right,
They
destroy
destroyed town property.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, they just
Okay.
removed it wholesale. There was a sign, property of the town of Hillsdale, do not remove.
Okay.
They're doing, I don't know if you've seen what's going on in 22, it's a
Yeah, yeah.
complete rehab.
placing a claim, or how does that work?
We're gonna, we talked to the owner who now has a new contractor, and said, look, this is what it is. You're going to be billed for this on your quarterly statement. So
Okay,
there,
and what is that amount? Because it
Uh,
says only, the only thing that's itemized here, it says 800.
yes, that's because it was a shared tank, the tank was still being filled. So that's what started this off, is someone said, hey, I think the tank is full. So we had to do an emergency pump of the tank, and now we have to actually replace the panel itself, which just arrived today. So I didn't have the bill for that, but I should have, it should be in the next abstract. We have an estimate, I think, $5,000. So which is why it's not listed here yet, because it hasn't come out of the sewer fund yet, but once it does, it'll be marked for reimbursement, so it'll be a minus, but it'll be a
But I
plus.
think before this is applied to the sewer fund,
Mhm.
I mean, the town board should approve, or at least review and approve what we're charging the private landowner for damages, right?
Well, we got we got we had Precision who does all of the panel work. It's a replacement in kind, it's a Renko panel. There's not much, leeway there, so it's an emergency situation.
No, I'm not talking about the work, but
Yeah.
this to me is like red flag process. I think that in the past, our grants have sometimes covered, like work on private property. It just doesn't, I just wanna make sure that we
So they
know.
ripped it out, then there was an issue with the tank overflowing, the neighbors who alerted the town.
Yeah.
And so what happened? So now the homeowner is going to pay for it.
I think the confusion, if I maybe, it's not part of the grant. It's not
Right.
part of the grant whatsoever. It's just an item that will be reimbursed, much
From
like the
somebody
grant.
Right.
Like all the stone that we're buying is gonna be reimbursed from New York State. So, we spent $30,000 of, let's say for new fabrics. So our sewer fund currently has 110, but actually we have 140 because we're gonna be reimbursed $30,000. Much like Anthony Street, we have 110, but we're gonna be reimbursed from the private owner $840 and eventually $6,000. So it's not part of the
Okay.
grant, it's just, they just so.
Of that should be reviewed by the board,
Uh,
right? If we're like, we're producing statements here that make
Right.
assumptions that we've already decided that there's. That this private landowner only owes the town $6,000, but
Right.
like is.
well, when
We'll
this.
see that documentation.
Yeah,
It
when-
seems like,
When this happened, I immediately informed the board, said this was an emergency situation and it needed to be replaced immediately.
yeah, I don't,
Okay,
I'm
I'm like,
disputing that at
Okay.
all, and I think.
but
I'm sure you did the right thing in that case. I'm
Okay.
thinking in the board's review of this statement.
Well-
We need to understand where that is coming from.
right, well, the actual bills will be in the abstracts. So it will be deducted from the sewer fund because it
Okay,
had,
so
Yeah,
we didn't see this yet.
you saw the Baldwin bill and I marked it 22 Anthony Street. The control panel just arrived today, so it will be in the next abstract, and we will pay it. And just know that, and I'll mark it to be reimbursed by owner.
Yeah, and are reimbursements like this normally paid through taxes? Or not, I mean, it's not taxes, but through
Their EDUs,
EDUs? I mean, I just don't understand the process and maybe.
well, it's an emergency process. We have to, we can't have
I'm
it,
disputing that you
Yeah.
don't have to fix town
Yeah, yeah.
property when it's broken,
right,
but the reimbursements, review documentation, what is that process? I think that should be
okay, all
clear
right.
to the board.
Well, it's,
Yeah,
okay, well, we informed the owner that the destruction of town property is their responsibility, and they are responsible, basically, for
right.
the process.
That's why there's stickers on the panels.
That's why there's stickers on the
Yeah.
panels.
In other circumstance, in other construction environments, I mean, normally a claim, I mean, there's some discussion and there's an insurance file, but. No?
Again, this was, we had to get this.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Just
But that,
wondering how $6,000 is. How, you know, we're going to
If they don't
ensure
pay
that
their
their town.
sewer bill, so let's say it's 6,000 plus whatever they owe, they don't pay for it, it goes on their taxes at the end of the year. So it's a lien
Right.
on their taxes.
Yeah.
So regardless, they're gonna
Oh,
pay.
yeah, they're gonna pay, if they wanna fire,
Okay,
if they have,
if that's the process.
yeah, that's the process there.
Yeah. So
Yeah,
it's like
that-
it's a lien
any-
on their property if they don't
Okay.
pay.
Any unpaid EDUs goes on their county bill, and we get, it's a tax levy, and so we
They-
will get paid.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay. Where were we? We were at, highway. Highway, thanks for your monthly report. You have, some concerns about, or thoughts about the Mitchell Street culvert, approximately 500 feet north of State Route 23. Do you want to talk about that, or you?
We need an engineering study on it.
Okay.
So it was brought to my attention that the wing walls are failing and it's getting undermined.
Okay, so George has prepared a estimate for $1,600, and you want to determine whether it's a complete replacement or you can be rehabbed. Can I get a motion to approve the expenditure of $1,600 from the unassigned fund balance, highway unassigned fund balance for the study by CPL, the town engineer? Can I get another, or can I get a second? Steve, okay. The bill is linked there, it's town engineer. What you need to proceed, basically.
You need another.
Yeah, I know, we're still discussing, if you want to say.
And is this included in the,
Trial,
Route Unlimited study? No. No. Which stream is it?
it's the one by the toll house. What goes behind the toll house.
So is that? Oh, there's another name. I know the one next to Harrington's has another name, but that's a tributary to the road to Jensen.
Yeah.
Well, this would eventually be to the road cancer too, it goes down. That way down 22, so.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, down 23. That's, I don't know the name of the street, so that's what George is. Got to put everything
So
together.
he'll make the study, then you'll come back with us with the recommendation. Okay. Motion to approve the expenditure. All in favor, unanimous, thank you. This does bring up culverts. Jamie, as the liaison to the CAC, would you inquire if they, about culvert grant, and if they want to be officially referred culvert grants, or like, how do you want to
I
proceed
think
there?
that, from my understanding, I mean, where that was left is that there. It's an opportunity for a meeting between the CAC, who I guess actively writes grants and has the interface with these related organizations and the
Sure.
highway. The highway.
I didn't understand your question.
No, I just wanna, as long as we're talking about culvert grants, what do we need to do to get everybody talking and apply for some grants? Whatever we need to do,
Yeah.
let's do it.
Yeah,
I sent out a couple emails over them.
Yeah, so
yeah.
whether it's a specific referral, whether it's meeting,
Well, you got a letter back, you did see the copy from the CAC saying that we're not gonna apply for it because we're probably not gonna get a grant, the grant.
that, I thought that was this year,
Yeah,
the,
that was
okay.
this year, yeah.
then I would just.
I think that's a.
At the next, as the liaison, the next CAC, just to,
Yeah,
a sentence of where we stand with the grant.
I think, it's been on the table for many years now, and I think really, if you could find time in your schedule to go to a CAC meeting, or maybe they can change their meeting to a time that accommodates you. That would be good. I think there just needs to be a 10-minute meeting to figure out what the priorities are.
That's not a problem,
Because-
it was the point that,
Yeah, it's just hard for, you know, you work on the ground, you actually see the maintenance requirements of these culverts, right? So it's hard for people who write the grants to understand what is needed unless there's a dialogue.
But there is a dialogue. These grants came up in 2019, these unlimited culvert pipes came up in discussion. I entered an agreement into with the town board and the Trout Unlimited and there was one other organization involved that we did the studies where they were gonna apply for the grants and stuff. And
Crowd Unlimited.
Trout Unlimited
Okay.
and the town, no, Tom Carter was part of it at the time.
Okay,
And so this is what we've been, I got the emails again, I forwarded them to the town
Right,
board, I
right.
forwarded them to the CAC that it was time to apply for these grants. All the work was done, we have heard it at these last town board meetings for the last 6 months. That we should be using CHIPS money for it, when there's actually grant money for these culvert pipes, the one on Collins Street and the one on. And I wrote an email to the CAC, I wrote CC'd you with it, and the response from the CAC was, we do not think that we should apply for these grants because. They don't think that we were gonna get it, there's not enough funds in the account, there was no attempt by the CAC to
Yeah.
apply for these grants.
So I'm not sure about that history, but
I am positive about that.
Yeah, no, maybe you're
Sorry.
positive. My only interaction directly with this grant program was that I researched this last year as just a feasibility, like if I could put it together, we also last minute, you know, would I have bandwidth to throw these pieces together and apply? Well, I think the deadline, at least last year, was the same time. It was the end of July, so it was the same time as the first round of comprehensive grants. And it was also after our $110,000 application to NYSERDA. So anyway, we haven't really had I haven't had the bandwidth to look at this, but for my review, I don't feel comfortable putting in the next steps of work and consideration unless I can get in front of you, make sure that we're on the same page and make sure the priorities in the grant application align.
I appreciate that, I appreciate that. The thing is, though, this whole process has been approved. The whole, with Travel Limited, it was just a change of leaders or applicants, you know, you and, you know, so I went to the CAC because they were involved into this. We met many times with the CAC, so nothing has changed except for the year of the grant process. We were denied a couple years, but it's a repetitive thing. So that's why I got the emails and I forwarded them on to take and get the grant applied for this year. Everything was done, everything was done.
Yeah.
The CAC, because of all the stuff that was going on in Texas Hill, felt that I should take the money from my CHIPS budget to put it towards these things. So they did not apply for the grant, which I believe, and Mike, I've had this conversation with you, that was totally wrong on the behalf of the CAC.
So moving forward.
This is being targeted at the CAC.
It is,
Really,
you're right.
Well,
You're right.
let's move forward.
see, the CAC is not actively writing any grants
The
right now.
CAC sent an email, a public email to the town board and myself, saying that they were not gonna apply for the grant because they didn't think the money was there. So they did personally take it on themselves, Jamie.
I
Okay.
think that was one of the reasons, but I can assure you that I spent hours reviewing this grant application last year. And I really just need a meeting of the minds between you and members of the CAC so that I.
Nothing's changed, so
Great, so let's, for 2026, do you know the due date offhand? Is it July or?
Probably the same, but there are also other grants that could apply to this. It's
Okay.
not just one, but knowing. We have to look at this strategically because also as a town, we're applying for other DC grants from the same funding sources. So it's not gonna make sense to apply, compete with ourselves. So we really have to look at this strategically. It takes time. And you really have to, read the RFAs, and it's a lot of work, to do these state grants.
And again, I'll just say that I was part of the meetings with the Troutman Limited. We signed into an agreement under
Yes,
first, whichever it was. And it was just gonna follow through with the grant applications. So again, nothing changed from 2019 to 2025, except for the people that were writing the grants. I do not write grants. Okay,
Yeah, but if the people who are writing the grants left their positions, then who is writing the grant? I'm the only one following up on this.
and I wrote to the CAC an email in which you are the liaison to, and the public email that came back was, we don't feel that we should apply for this grant.
So for twenty
Plain
twenty-five.
and simple, yeah.
It's 2026 now, so let's turn the page, start a new day, we might.
It was a personal issue because they wanted.
But that's-
money for the culvert
let's
pipes, and
turn
I
the page.
refused to do that.
Let's turn the page to 2026, so any insight of due dates or any other grants for culverts? We have some culverts that desperately need some attention, and we would welcome that input. And
These culvert pipes are not endangering of the road or collapsing or anything. They're undersized and they're not allowing the.
correct, which is what I mean.
Of the
The
fill,
drop.
because they're higher, so it's not an endangerment to closing a road or anything like that.
Okay,
It's all about the fish and that stuff.
great, so
It's unlike the culvert pipe near,
on Mitchell,
on Mitchell
Okay.
Street near,
23rd,
But-
okay.
But the studies actually do account for flow volume, so they
Right.
did that, analysis, and it's not just about, a migration of.
Okay.
Yeah.
For heavy rainfall like that.
Yeah.
Anyway, 2026, new year. New possibilities.
So
Madam
just,
Pollyanna.
just send your availability.
When are your CACs? It's third Thursday?
Yeah,
So
I
it's
think
this
so.
Thursday and then September, whatever that is. I'll talk to you both.
Mike, we've already talked about it.
Okay, all right,
You
well-
know, you've got a little bit of a different aspect.
No,
when
I'm
we're
just saying-
Having a conversation than we do when we're.
No, last year it was a different thing.
It's this year. 2025 is still this year.
I know, but the grants are for twenty
And
twenty-six.
there was a refusal of people, people refusal to take and apply for the grant.
And that grant cycle
And
is
now it's being
closed.
said, okay.
Okay, for whatever, it's closed. It's a done
Okay.
deal. There's a new round of grants.
Saying
in 20
that the CAC, who is people that work for this town, like me, refuse to apply for grants for personal reasons.
No, they don't. work
Yes,
for the town.
they did.
They are volunteers. They
Okay.
are citizen volunteers. They do not. get
I will
paid.
publicize, I'll make
Okay.
sure it goes on Facebook, the letter from the CAC.
Okay,
So
got it.
that everybody in public can see this letter,
I'm
James.
sorry I brought this subject up. I look forward to
Right.
a new round of grant applications and possibilities, and let's just leave it at that. And let's see what happens.
Perfect, Mike, perfect.
Okay, great. We voted on that, right? No, okay, on to the cemeteries. I created a database of all the cemeteries. There's not as many as I thought.
You don't have, there's a bunch of them that's not on that.
Well, then that's why. Okay, so I took the cemetery report that I think the cemetery committee.
It was from 2016.
Okay, Lauren and probably Jean. So let's work on getting that up to date with all the cemeteries, and then we can look at it and say, this is what we're looking at in terms of maintenance, and try to budget that out or game that out. I know that's a heavy lift, but that sound good? Yeah, I didn't realize they were missing something, so I thought they were complete. So you know more than I do. Okay, so to be continued. Rojan Ramble, okay, motion to approve the Rojan Ramble as a town-sponsored event. Again, this does not have any insurance obligations for us.
That's fine, right?
The biking, yeah, mid-September. Can I get a motion? Erwin, can I get a second? Steve, we discussed this pretty at length last year. They are well aware that this does not carry our insurance with it, but it's a good event. I think we should sponsor it. All in favor? Unanimous, thank you. Holiday tree lighting, motion to approve the town event holiday tree lighting for December 6th, 2025. Erwin, can I get a second? Steve, much the same as last year, we're exploring shutting off Anthony Street, in which case I'll get proper approval from the county. And it's a great way to coordinate with the Hillsdale Fire Company #1 and Santa. Any further discussion? All in favor?
What
Sure,
are we
sure.
approving? Sorry, there's a new form. Is there a resolution? I'm sorry.
Yeah, no, the resolution is that the town board approves the event known as the Hillsdale, oh, there's a typo here. Hillsdale Holiday Tree Lighting.
See.
Yeah.
I think it's above it. so-
Yes. I filled out, it's actually sponsored by the Hamlet Committee, so it's an in-town event. It's not a private event, so it's like the Easter egg hunt or what's another?
Okay.
Car show, actually, yeah.
What was the date of the ramble?
September